From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's another beautiful Friday in LA via Pasadena, California, where I'm at right now. And pretty much I want to go ahead and say, hey, another great week, another week of smashing numbers as well, too, on YouTube. So I thank you guys so much. You guys, as you guys can see on what's scrolling by, you guys can add the page on you can add my channel on here, as well too, Prime Wave Media. You guys can also follow me on the Twitter as well too, so you guys don't miss out on all those great plays, great bets, and things of that nature. And pretty much last night we had ourselves a very intriguing moment for the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns got down 9 points last night. After that, they went out and literally outscored the Bucks 108 to 87 for the rest of the game. They had an absolute moment of clarity last night. They did show that, hey, you know what? If you can stop Aiden a little bit, we do have others here. And I'm going to tell you like this. Mikal Bridges was huge last night. I know that Booker's going to get a lot of the press because Booker did hit 7 threes last night, all which were right on the money. It seemed that every time the Bucks tried to make a dent into the lead, the Suns were right there to go ahead and make the key shots to keep themselves ahead in that game. The Bucks had got it all the way down to 5 at one point in the fourth quarter. And once again, they were answered with an 8-0 run by the Suns. And pretty much last night, that team hit 16 threes, man. It's tough to beat that, pretty much. It's really tough to beat a number like that in a game of this magnitude. Because you see that and you say to yourself, well, I said 16. They hit 20 out of 40. And they hit 11 of them, I think, in the first half as well, too. So you got 7 from Booker, 7 threes from him. Then you got Chris Paul to chip in a little bit. He knocked out three of 5. Crowder 3 of 5 as well, too. And Bridges had 3 himself. So this was huge. And then they got 4 off the bench as well from Torrey Craig and Cam Johnson. So they played huge last night. It was once again a full team effort. They were able to get a big effort from Booker, Bridges, and Paul. Those guys went ahead and together went ahead and dropped at about 80% of the points last night. They were able to go ahead and have themselves a pretty fun game for themselves last night. They dropped 81 of the 118 points last night. So that was huge in a sense for the Suns as well, too, that they got big efforts from 3 different guys. And also Chris Paul was able to, do his thing last night, 8 assists, 6, but he had 6 turnovers as well, too. But it doesn't matter if the Bucks aren't going to take advantage of it as well, too. But the top scorer of the night was on the Bucks last night. Giannis actually dropped 42 points last night and had 12 rebounds. He had an incredible game, and it still wasn't enough to help his team win this game. But I think that what happened here was Drew Holiday, who started off hot, went very cold, and Chris Middleton really was never a part of this game last night. Shooting 5 of 16, only getting 11 points. They got a good effort from Connington off the bench, who scored 14, and he got himself a good amount of minutes because Brook Lopez was kind of ineffective last night. He finished up the game with 8 points, 9 rebounds, but he could have did a much better. And then, they didn't get too much. They didn't give Bobby Portis too much time last night either. He only played 4 minutes. So I think that coach has to go ahead and stretch those minutes out like he did in the last series to make sure that guys can give, so they can give them different looks. I think that they were giving them way too much of the same look last night, and that's why the Bucks just couldn't keep up last night with the Suns. The Suns played like a team possessed at home as well, too. But the series is going to change now because now they're headed over to Milwaukee for pretty much the next 2 games. And it looks like this series, a lot of people are already saying Suns in 4, but they have to understand the Nets actually beat up on the Bucks a bit worse in Brooklyn the first two games. And I would say that when you got 2-3 megastars like you do on the Nets, that's a different type of beast. And I think that the Suns played off the momentum of a great crowd that they had as well, too. And Milwaukee just hasn't been here before, but now they've been here for the last two games. They'll be able to look at film and see exactly where they can make the adjustments at. They did figure out ways to kind of limit Chris Paul, but then at the same time, they still kept making the same mistakes that they made in game one. I think with some good film work and some good, back to the basics drills and everything like that at their next practice, they should be prepared Sunday to go ahead and get themselves in this series. But if they do lose Sunday, I will say that this series is literally over, because we all know that nobody's ever came back from 3-0. But in this crazy year and in these crazy times, anything can happen, okay? So pretty much the Suns are up 2-0 in the NBA Finals right now, and they are 2 games away from hoisting up their first ever championship. But you know what? We got to play the games first, and we'll see Sunday exactly what Suns team's going to show up, the team that's been killing it or the team that, kind of had some little issues on the road. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a great, great game, okay? So we move on, and, the big news this weekend is Conor McGregor. Can he get his revenge in the trilogy against Dustin Poirier? It is the MMA fight of the year, because if I'm talking about it, it's the fight of the year pretty much, because I know I'm not big on doing MMA and talking about MMA with you guys, but this is Conor McGregor, man. This guy is events. So when you got a big event, you got to put the big bets on there. But I think that Conor McGregor, at the end of the day, he's not the one that has to really, prove that he can do what he does, because regardless of how you guys feel about Conor McGregor is going to always sell out venues. It's just that simple. He has 50% of people that want to see him get his ass kicked, and he got 50% of people that want to see him win. And at the end of the day, he knows how to sell the fight. He knows how to do all the intimidation stuff that gets people riled up, gets people acting crazy. And you saw it yesterday in his presser when they were having the face-off. He threw a little kick there at the end. So, Poirier pumped up. This was second time around. He had revenge on his mind. He had to get Conor. He figured out everything that he had to do against Conor. And this third time around, though, Conor knows that he has to kind of get some points back, because it was a little embarrassing the way he got knocked out the last time out. He is a May right now because of it as well, too. So, knowing McGregor and knowing his pride, he's going to want to get that get back. But Dana White had to pay that ticket as well, too, to make sure ensure the return to the ring. And they're going to be in front of a full crowd as well, too. They ensured that Conor McGregor will be in front of a full crowd so they could go ahead and get this thing on the way that they want to. There's going to be a lot of merchandise sold. There's going to be a lot of things going on within Vegas this weekend with Conor McGregor's name on it. I know, because I was at the first fight with Nate Diaz as well, too. And actually, shout out to my man, George Posada. I was in Chicago that weekend. He made this one. It was when I was doing Cabcast. He said, "Hey man, when you get on the show today, give us a prediction about where the fight's going to go." So I really didn't have a clue what I was getting into that night. But when I looked at the heights and size and the way that everything was, how the fight was approaching, I picked Nate Diaz. And Nate, you guys know what Nate Diaz did. He got one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. But I didn't see that one as an upset, because you know what? He was going against a guy from the Central California, and in Central California, they don't play. And you know what? Conor McGregor would have fought a guy that had no fear. And that's exactly why that night was so special, because that man took care of his business. So all in all, at the end of the day, Conor McGregor is going to sell the show. He got me talking about it right now as well, too. If I do have an opportunity and time, I will go ahead and watch the fight. But most likely, I'm just going to wait for the Twitter reactions as well, too. So it is what it is at the end of the day. So there it is. That's going to be the talk of the weekend, the UFC big bout between Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier, number 3. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our NFL preview for today. And as you guys can see, I don't want to waste the face-off picture, but as you guys can see, this is the face-off from last time and everything like that. Dustin Poirier was very confident. I don't know if you see confidence in McGregor's face here, but you know what? He seems to always be confident when he comes into things. But at the end of the day, It didn't work out in his favor, and now he's trying to get his sweet revenge as well too. And the people that are backing him think that that's going to happen, and the people that want to make their money and make some good money, they want Dustin Poirier. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be an even split when it comes down to betting in this fight. But don't ever think that Conor McGregor's star power is fading, because it's definitely not. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into the NFL. And in the NFL, we have our NFL preview today. We have the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals were 4-11-1 last year. They did do a lot of their winning at the end of the year, but they got significant wins last year as well too. They got a good win over the Steelers on Monday Night Football. They also beat the Titans. Those are two playoff teams are right there for you. Then they also went ahead and had a nice little victory they had a nice little stomp out at the end of the year as well too. And these games weren't really close either. They didn't play games where they won by 3 or anything like that. They went out there and actually won the game thoroughly. So, there's a lot of things to look at with the Bengals next season. They got Burrow coming back, who was on pace to set a record for rookies last year. It was a good year for rookie quarterbacks last year because the way these systems and things are set up. But I think at the end of the day, this guy right here, Joe Burrow, is going to still be a decent quarterback. He does have that Carson Palmer feel to him for the Bengals. Looks like he'll be a 5, 6, 7-year starter with these guys before maybe he moves on to another team. But if everything works out in Cincinnati, he'll be there for life, because you guys got to remember, the kid did grow up in Athens, Ohio, the home of Ohio University and the home of the Bobcats, who are in the MAC conference. So pretty much he's a homebody, he's a homebred kid, and I think that he can lead this team to some higher heights, but it's not going to be now. I got the under 6.5 for a reason. I think at best the Bengals win 5 games this year, to be honest with you. I think that they still go through the jugular and they still compete the way that they competed last year, because you have to remember one thing about the Bengals. The Bengals were one of the best covering teams in the NFL last year, and I do have the numbers to back it up. They won about 10 games as against the spread. So if they got bet on every week with the spread, they made some people some good money last year. So the thing is, the Bengals might lose, but they do cover. So that's one thing that you do have to put into fruition with this team as well, too. And this should wind up being a pretty good season for the Bengals on a building situation. And then they can bring in another stud player within the top 10 next year, and then really start the process of returning the Bengals back to some type of excellence as well, too. They still got a really young coach, and he still has to show that he can prove himself in the NFL. I wasn't very impressed with much he did last year. I just know that the defense that they had was led by a lot of vets, and that's why they were able to get to where they got to. So pretty much at the end of the day, this is what we're going to see. We're going to see a Cincinnati team that's going to have to compete probably in the toughest division in all of football, the AFC North. You have 3 teams that are well ahead of you, that are all have playoff aspirations as well too, but they can go ahead and play the spoiler next year. All right, so let's go ahead, take our first break, and with that, let's go ahead and check out hackclub.com. Absolute drippy drip. You guys can follow them on Twitter as well too, at hackclub. At Hack Club, and also you guys can go ahead and get yourself a 10% discount on any $50 order or better. Once again, this is www.hackclub.com. You guys can go ahead and get yourself a great deal if you spend $50 or better. Get that 10% off, and man, get the multiple caps, get the multiple drips. Hack Club, it's very worth the money. All right, so with that, we will be right back. This is the premier sports betting show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back, and sorry about that. Let me go ahead and get us to the right screen. I was paying too much attention to my old photos and all that good stuff. But the Dodgers are back in town today. It looks like David Price is going to be the starter today as well, too. It wasn't announced. It's kind of been thrown back and forth. So, it is what it is at the end of the day. The Dodgers got themselves a good win yesterday. They avoided the sweep with the Marlins winning 6-1. They had a 5-run inning as well, too. So, I think it's worked out for the Dodgers. They're still in second place. This weekend, though, they could go to first place if they're able to sweep the Diamondbacks, and maybe the Giants have a little bit of a hiccup, which may occur as well, too, because you have to understand the Nats actually split with the Padres, but they looked really good as well, too. And they jumped out to a 6-0 lead, wound up losing the game last night 9-8. So it is what it is at the end of the day. It's a new day for the Nats, and it's going to be a new day for the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks as well, too. The Diamondbacks have struggled all season, and you know what? Last time they played against the Dodgers at the stadium, it was absolute just Dodgers rolling some more. So, they've been an easy game, easy series for the Dodgers for like the last 3 seasons, even when they were kind of a good team. But you know what? You never doubt the situation. You saw what just happened in Miami. They lost 3 out of 4, but they lost 3 out of 4 in close situations. Now with the Diamondbacks, they have an idea what they're really, really going against. And there won't be any little tricks or anything like that thrown out by their manager like Don Mattingly was doing. Don Mattingly had a little bit of an advantage there because he did manage the Dodgers and he kind of understands their tendencies, even though he hasn't been here for the last 5 years. But still, they always want to get revenge for the old ball coach in those situations. So it happens, right? So pretty much the Dodgers go ahead and get themselves a great victory yesterday. Urias was absolutely dominant. He only gave up 1 run, which was a home run, but he struck out 9 after that as well, too. So he got the run support he needed, got himself a good win yesterday, and the Dodgers move on 6-1, 53-34 in the season, second in the NL West, and number 1 in the wild card. So there it is, the Dodgers looking to get themselves all the way right this weekend. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out, and we'll move on from there. So up first, we got the White Sox and the Orioles. The White Sox and the Orioles is going to be a good one. This is going to be a game that's going to be between 2 teams that are going in 2 different directions. The Orioles, though, I think will be a little good today. I know the White Sox are going to get a lot of the money towards them, but I'm still going to go ahead and do it this way and just go ahead and add in the plus 1.5 today on the Orioles. So there it goes, and that should be a good spot for us at the end of the day. So there it is with that game right there. I think that things will work out in our favor today. I think the Orioles are going to come to play, and we'll see how it shakes out, see how it goes. We got the Rays and the Blue Jays. The Rays and the Blue Jays. Rays coming in here minus 120, Blue Jays plus 100. Blue Jays have had their way with the Rays this year, so don't sleep on the Rays, the Blue Jays coming into this game. But I think what happens today, though, it is a Friday. And, it's a big week this week in Tampa. You had the Lightning just go ahead and win the title as well, too. So I think at the end of the day, this will be exactly what the doctor ordered, and we'll just go from there. And I think this will work out very well for everybody. So, yep, we move on, and we have the Yanks at the Astros and minus 135 on the Astros today, minus plus 115, but this has jumped up. Right now, you can get the Yankees at plus 130. The Astros are minus 135. I just don't like anything the Yankees are doing this year, and I know that they had a better week this week. They've won 2 out of 3. They won 2 out of 3 against the Mariners. They still got shut out yesterday as well too. So when I look at this game, I tell myself I think that the Astros do have a bit of an advantage because they get really excited when they see the Yankees, especially at home. We know it's going to be a good game there at Minute Maid Park tonight. Beautiful ballpark as well, too. There's not one bad seat in the house. I'll let you know that right now. So pretty much you got the Astros trying to go ahead and keep their lead here in the West and keep their confidence up as well, too. So we're going to see how it goes, see how it shakes out. But we do have ourselves a really good game tonight between the Astros and the Yankees. And I know this will be receiving a lot of bets as well, too. All right, we got ourselves Washington at San Francisco. I did talk about that earlier. You got the Nats plus 145. Giants are minus 175 tonight. Over under 8.5. Tonight, I'm going to be a little risque. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Nats as our dog of the day. I think the Nats are playing really good baseball this week, and they love being on the West Coast. So why not? Let's go ahead and see if they can go ahead and get themselves a good win. They got Espino on the mound, who's been pretty good in his first 4 outings. 28 strikeouts over 7 walks, 2.48 ERA as well, too, going against Logan Webb, who's 4-3 on the year. So you got 2 of the better hitting teams in the league as well, and I think that they'll be able to keep things intact for Espino today to get him a good win today. They'll get him the run support. That's how I'm feeling, and I think that this will wind up being a really good win for the Nats tonight. That's why I'm taking them with the dog bet of the day. All right, so we have our last game, the nightcap, which is going to be the Rockies at the Padres. And the Rockies at the Padres, this one should be a really, really good game. I think that this will work out in the favor of whoever, gets whoever wants it more here. And I think that this is going to be a good game to watch to see if this game can actually go over or something of that nature. That's what I'm looking at. You got an 8.5 point over under tonight. And then you have Blake Snell on the mound, 4.99 ERA, 93 strikeouts on the year. He's having a good year, not getting enough run support. But you know what? It's an even bag with him all the time as is. And then you got Kyle Freeland, who's 1-2 on the year, 5.50 ERA, 29 strikeouts with over 16 walks. This one right here just, to me, serves up a nice little over, in my opinion. I like the 8.5 here. So we'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it goes. But that's going to be our pick 6 for today. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take another quick commercial break. But before that, let's go ahead and check this out. Fubo TV, you guys can get all the sports you want this weekend. There's going to be a lot of games on. And as I said before, if you guys already have ESPN, ESPN Plus, all that good stuff, you'll be able to get the fight this weekend as well, too. It's going to be on pay-per-view, but I think that Fubo has a way for you to order it through their app as well, too. So you guys just check it on out. But you guys can go ahead and have 7 days free to test it out for yourself. And you guys go ahead and press that promo code that's in the show description. So there it is, Fubo TV, live TV and sports, and some good entertainment there as well, too. So you guys check them on out. If you love sports, you're going to love this. All right. So with that, we will be back. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Bengals Live.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Bengals Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And pretty much, you know what? It's a short show today. It's a Friday anyway. So pretty much, let's go ahead and jump into the stretch drive of things because we don't have the finals until Sunday. So pretty much I have something for you guys Sunday, though. I have a bevy of plays for you Sunday as well, too. But you don't want to miss this. We got the plus 1.5 on the Orioles. We got the Red Sox money line minus 125. We got the under 8.5 with the Rays and the Blue Jays. The minus 1.5 with the Astros. Dog of the day is going to be the Nats. Plus 145, and then we have the over 8.5 with the Rockies and the Padres. Now, you guys can go ahead and bet this up over at YouWager, where the world bets at. You guys can go ahead and use the promo code VXXPOP, and you guys will receive up to 50% on a match deposit. So if you guys go ahead and put up $300, they'll match you with the $150, and then your sports betting journey begins over at YouWager, where the world bets at. All right, so I want to tell you guys thank you so much once again this week for tuning in and sharing the show if you are, and doing all that stuff, supporting the show. I really, truly do appreciate you guys and everything like that. I want you guys to keep on helping the movement move. We got the merchandise that's going to be on the way right now as well, too. So if you want to do your pre-orders, things like that, you guys go to the website, primewavemedia.net, and you guys will be situated. If you do want to become a client, you go to primewavemedia.net and choose one of my packages. But if you do want to get on the second half package that I always give out, end of the year packages, I like to say we're going to start earlier, half of the year package for right now. But once we get to September, I call it the end of the year package. And pretty much I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a discounted rate on my yearly deal. So you guys pretty much hit me up on the DM, either at PopDBIC on the Twitter, or you guys can hit me up on the IG at DBICWave, and I'll go ahead and I'll situate you, get you situated, taken care of. And if you don't like those two, if you're more comfortable with another option, you can email me at popdbic425@gmail as well, too, all lowercase for the letters on that as well, too. So once again, I thank you guys very much for tuning into the show today. I'll be back Monday. Hopefully Jeff will be able to join us. He won't have any obligations or anything like that. And then we'll go ahead and we'll talk about what happened over the weekend, and pretty much get into this baseball, and then talk some football as well, too. The Browns are coming up Sunday, so make sure you don't miss out on that, all right? So we will be back Monday at noon, so make sure you tune in. This is the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Capper, and this is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.